Hi, and welcome back to Beyond the Monsters. Today we have Moriah with us.
Tell me, is there room for me to cry? Is the devil all inside my mind? I don't wanna die like this, I wanna live my life.
All right, Moriah.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Long drive, huh?
Yes, 11 hours. Yeah, it
Wow.
was worth it though. We're used to driving everywhere. So
Awesome.
Connecticut and Florida. So
Well, thank you for coming and sharing. And you can start wherever you're comfortable with your story.
All right. Well, thank you. First, I want to say though, Beyond the Monsters is a killer name.
Oh, thank you.
That caught my attention. That was like, wow, that is amazing. Well, yeah, Moriah Forbeck is my name, and I am from Oklahoma. I was raised in a very religious home. I attended Christian school and church. We were there probably 5 days out of 7. It was a very strict upbringing. No television allowed in the home, no radio, very little even access to anything secular, just outside of church and the religious community. So that's all you're really surrounded by. I don't know if you're familiar with it's Shiny Happy People.
Yes.
With the Duggars.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
Bill Gothard, that was the teaching that I was raised on as well, was the teaching of Bill Gothard. And so the goal of the parents, to a large extent, is to break the will of the child. That is the goal. My childhood, I felt like everything about me that was like my God-given character was to be destroyed and rebuilt and molded into what they wanted me to be. And I was not allowed to have opinions, rights. I was, if I even so much as sighed, even just a sigh, I was spanked. I was thoroughly, I couldn't roll my eyes. There was absolutely no approval of having autonomy or a voice that went against whatever they decided the truth of who I was going to be, how I was going to operate in the world, what I was going to think, how I was going to live. And the damage that does to a developing child's brain, and just teaching you to submit. And then, you're also and I want to be clear that I am a person of faith. I love my Jesus. I would never have survived this without him. And luckily I found him in the midst of this, because a lot of people, when they have lived through religious abuse, spiritual abuse, they turn their back. They want nothing to do with it.
Right.
The trauma is just too great. But I'm able to be aware that from a spiritual standpoint, these people they're not following God's word. They're not following scripture, and the religious people were, Jesus's greatest enemies as well. So I'm able to separate the two, and I'm thankful for that. But when I say the religious community, I'm not talking about believers that are really living for Christ. But in the private school and in the church, it was definitely during the purity culture, where you are only dating, to marry. Your parents have to approve of anyone you speak to, anyone you have any relationships with, and you're taught to submit. Your will. You are to sacrifice for everyone around you. And I was very much taught that I could not trust myself. You do not trust your own feelings. Your feelings will deceive you. So anything you feel is to be rejected. And that is it's just devastating, because you learn to ignore every single instinct to protect yourself, to stand up for yourself, to have individual autonomy. And so I would continue to, my body was desperately trying to tell me, you are not safe. We've got to get out of here. And I'm ignoring it and just gritting my teeth and pushing through. As so many women do. But
Does that make, as a child, I can imagine that makes you so resentful and angry
oh my
inside.
goodness, I was so full of rage. I was pulled out of Christian school at 6th grade and placed into the public school system. Talk about a culture shock. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to survive. I didn't know how I was going to make it. I had absolutely no skills for coping in the regular world. And yeah, it was terrifying. It was truly terrifying. I was only there for a year. I remember one instance. This still makes me a little sad. I won the award for the friendliest girl in school. And in my childhood, there was very little that I was ever proud of myself about because I didn't, I was labeled the rebellious child. I was labeled the disobedient child because I kept fighting for myself and for my rights. And I was born with a strong will, thank goodness, or I would have never survived my childhood and my marriage, or the family court system.
Yeah.
But, I just kept pushing back and fighting. But I did the year in the public school, and then I was pulled out to be homeschooled. Oh my goodness. I pleaded, I begged, I sobbed, I cried. I mean, and so I was locked in the house for 3 years, 3 years, no television, no outside relationships. It was just total control there with my mother, and the rage and the resentment just begins to just bubble up and out of you. You're so oppressed.
Yes. Probably felt like a hostage.
Completely a prisoner. Every day of my childhood was dreaming of turning of age and being able to escape. And on the outside, what's represented is this sweet little Christian family. And up until a few years ago, that's how I thought my story was. I mean, I truly, over the years, the truth of it started to fade away as the story got prettier and prettier and prettier from my mother's standpoint, from every and it just kind of you're gaslit over the years to where it wasn't that bad, but it was that bad. It was total control.
Did you have siblings?
Yes. I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh.
And at that time, I just had my 2 younger brothers. My next brother is like 2 years younger than me, and then 5 years younger. They hadn't even, my parents with all 5 of us were same mom and dad, but they had us almost raised and then decided to have another 2 children. Oh. So.
Did they treat everyone the same? All of the kids?
No.
Or were you? Okay.
No, definitely not. The control was definitely focused on me. Primarily. I mean, I'm definitely now proud to say I am the black sheep of the family. I would say I was scapegoated quite a bit. So those 3 years were really brutal, being locked in the house. And at the age of 15, there's so much of your childhood you don't remember. I didn't get to finish my story. I got distracted, didn't I, about the friendliest girl in school.
Oh, yes.
If
yes,
you don't mind,
I
want to go back to that because it's just like a little tidbit that kind of shows what it was like. But I came home. I was so proud, that I had, was seen as the friendliest girl in school because I tried to be salt and light and kind and respectful to everyone. And my parents looked at me and told me how disappointed they were in me and that I wasn't being a godly Christian girl, because if I were being a godly Christian girl, I would be rejected. No one would want me. No one would like me or want to be around me if I was truly being godly, because the world doesn't like you and love you. They reject you because they rejected Christ first.
Oh, geez.
And it was just devastating. I constantly had girls that wanted to, beat me up and assault me. And my parents would just say, just turn the other cheek. Just let them beat you. That not having a primary caregiver protect you, and they're, spanking you every day. You're not allowed to have any personality at home either. Just the onslaught it was really brutal. It was so lonely. And there was a time, I felt like I was losing my mind at home as a child. I didn't realize until a couple of years ago when I started therapy, and I was telling my counselor how much I loved being in my closet, that I spent all of my childhood in my closet. I loved it there, and it was so dark and safe. And she looked at me and was just like, Moriah, you do understand that that's not normal, right?
Yeah.
And I truly didn't, but it gave me a boundary, and a place where I could try to relax my central nervous system. Of course, I didn't understand all that then. Definitely a bedroom kid, just would read and try to escape
Right.
from the control. Yes. So,
Gosh, and the first time you've probably ever felt seen, it got that means nothing when you got home.
yes, it was so disappointing. It was
Mm.
so heartbreaking. I thought, yeah, there was something that they would be proud of, but they just, yeah. But at 15, I don't remember leading up to it. I just remember my mother and I, she was screaming at me. She was very, very angry. And I ran out the back door of our home, and I'm running down the backyard, and she's screaming at me at the top of her lungs. I own you, Moriah. I own you. You have no rights. I own you. And she is screaming this, and I'm running down the alley and down the block, and I sobbing. Luckily, a friend happened to see me, took me to a family member's home, and I did go back for 2 weeks. She had agreed that she would let me go into school so I could have some access to the outside world. I was already so socially crippled. I had
Yeah.
so much anxiety. Even just going to the grocery store, any kind of social event, I just almost couldn't handle it. It was just so much fear and anxiety. But I did go back for 2 weeks. I just couldn't do it. I didn't trust her. I didn't feel safe. My body was just screaming. And then I went and lived with my grandmother. And
I'm surprised she let you.
you
That's
know,
like
honestly,
losing control a little bit, you know?
oh, so much, so much. She had so much past trauma that she didn't, heal from. And again, I don't think it was, I don't know if it was image. She was going to have to fight legally, I think, and I don't think she was willing to go through that,
Okay.
And this, I must say, this is hard. You're groomed to like hide the stories.
Yeah.
You're conditioned to not talk about these kind of things publicly. So this is kind of a new experience, just in kind of finally talking about it a bit. But
I'm proud of you. It takes a lot.
thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. So, I do feel like I would never have known what love was if it wasn't for my granny. She truly, truly loved me. She offered me safety.
Oh.
And yes, she was, I don't even know if I would have known, you hear about attachment, the lack of children being able to have a healthy attachment with a primary caregiver. But my granny, from the day I was born, wanted to see me like every day. And so I had that. I had her to connect with, that saw me, that emotionally connected with me, that offered me safety and acceptance just for who I was. And I think that's the only reason I, was able to survive, just
How
so
old were you
much.
then again when you went to your grandma's?
15.
15. Okay.
15. And so luckily I was able to test into the public school system and go into my grade. And but you have, my whole life had just been surviving. My brain I couldn't retain anything. I mean, I didn't realize then that when you're in survival mode, your brain's trying to protect you, and that prefrontal cortex is like shutting down to try to protect you. But you feel like your body is betraying you. You feel so ignorant, so stupid. And that's the way I felt all of my childhood. And I remember just getting to the place that I didn't even really try to learn anything else because I knew no matter how desperately I wanted to hold on to the information, I wasn't going to be able to. It was just survival. I started in abusive relationships. My first serious relationship was with, in my opinion, an overt narcissist. Very charming, very charismatic. He could make anything fun and exciting. I remember he let me use his hairbrush, and I was so surprised, because I was never able to use my parents' hairbrush or share a chapstick with me. I mean, I was too yucky to, even be able to share a chapstick with my mother. So I just, I was so easy. He was so easily able to draw me in, because those were just luxuries, and I felt so accepted and wanted like I never had before.
How old were you then?
15.
Oh, okay, 15.
15. And those were, pretty wild times after you've been oppressed and controlled and haven't seen the world. But you're also so vulnerable. And I believe that so many, Christian parents that are trying to be godly parents sometimes don't understand. I think so many use religion as a camouflage for power and control and dominance, wrapped in trying to protect your children from sin and from trauma. But really, it's just camouflaged control.
Yes,
that is crippling. And those that are trying to protect their children are still crippling them and not equipping them for real life.
Well, you're supposed to raise your children to be strong and to be able to move on in life without you and take care of themselves. And this is completely opposite of that.
Absolutely, completely opposite. And when I think back even to like the things that, was I actually really taught? And I really wasn't. There was no real financial support. You just, once you left, you were with what you'd managed to grapple with and have to equip you for life. You were out on your own, and with my siblings as well.
Did you stay in contact with your siblings when you went to grandma's?
A little bit. I had the one brother that I was really, really close with. We were each other's safe place within the home. We liked to be together a lot. But now that I've, started speaking the truth, I don't have contact with a single sibling. So, yeah, and I was prepared for it. That oftentimes happens when you decide to no longer go with the flow and play along with the dysfunctional family system.
And they've got a secret keeper. And
yes, I've been that for so long. I was that for so long. But then, I married at 19, and he seemed completely different from the previous relationship with the overt narcissistic individual. My husband seemed very relaxed and calm and mellow, didn't take things too seriously. And really, it was the same type of abuse. It was just covert. It just appeared in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with him for 5 years. We divorced. And then a few years later, he came back. And I didn't understand, like I do now, that a narcissist will always rehoover a past supply. And I had no idea. But he came back with everything that I'd ever wanted. All the lessons had been learned, to be able to be the husband that I deserved, that he would never take me for granted again. He knew I was a person of faith. I love my Jesus. That was that was his key play in being able to work his way back into my life, is that, he had given his life to Christ. He was involved in the church. And I believed it all. I mean, I
Of
just,
course.
that was one of my hardest lessons on a shell, was just in realizing that so many people are not operating with the heart and mind in the
Yeah.
world that I am. And it caused me so much pain.
Well, you were so sheltered from seeing behaviors like that for so long outside of the home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely. So we remarried, and within days of the marriage, I knew I had messed up severely. I mean, I knew. But
really?
again, in religious communities, you marry, you don't get divorced. I had so much shame and guilt for having divorced the first time. I had made it so abundantly clear, come hell or high water, I was not going to divorce this time. You know, that covenant is between the husband, the wife, and the Lord. And I was not going to make that mistake again. Little did I know that I was just telling him, you can torture me until my last breath, and I'm going to stay in this. And that's exactly what transpired. The mask quickly began to fall. And
Did not take him long.
oh no. Oh, because he knew. I mean, he knew that I was going to stay, and he was able to use guilt and shame, mistakes I'd made. You know, those you can never escape those with a covert narcissist. Yeah. They will pile that on your head every day to keep you in line, to keep you in place, to shame you, so that you can't ever come up for air and begin to heal or grow. That's the opposite of what he wanted. So finally, I got pregnant. By the 5th month of pregnancy, I mean, he was already yelling at me. I resent that child. I mean, he despised her. I mean, by the time I was 5 months pregnant, the devastation of just realizing, but the moment I became pregnant, he knew those talons went into me that much deeper, because he knew I was never going to sacrifice part of my time with my child or leave her. And so, I mean, the abuse intensified. And for so many women, you know, when you're pregnant, when you're weakened, when you're vulnerable, when you have a little more needs, you're not as physically strong, the abuse, it's very common for it to intensify during that time. And so she was born. The very night that she came home from the hospital, he went to the couch and didn't have a single thing to do with me from that day. I'm done with you. 3.5 years, not one time did he walk upstairs, come and change a bottle in the night, come and make a bottle, change a diaper, burning up with fever. Not one single solitary time. And we had our son 16 months later. I was not to be spoken to, acknowledged, looked at for weeks at a time. I'm no exaggeration, 2 years would go by sometimes and I'd never met his eye. We'd never made eye contact. Stop. I mean, my children, once they got older, called me the invisible wife. You're the invisible wife.
So they saw it too.
Oh, most definitely. Especially my daughter. By the time she was 7, by 3, the relationship was extremely strained. I remember at 3, she came running in one morning and, Mommy, Daddy said good morning to me. He said, good morning, Mama. He'd never said good morning to her. She was so ecstatic to have her daddy say good morning. And I mean, by 4, I remember one time she had said, it's another morning, she said good morning to him, and he looked at her and said, oh, I forgot you were alive. And my little girl just
oh my God,
bursting into tears. How do you work that out in your little mind?
How do you even say that out loud, even if you felt it, if you were crazy like that and felt it? My goodness.
Absolutely. So
maybe
she was the scapegoat, you know. I mean, he tried to scapegoat her. My son is the golden. My daughter is a fighter. I've had counselors tell me, they're like, Moriah, you're not the norm. Most women do not fight. But for whatever reason, my fight or flight is to fight. And so is my daughter's. And my son is to fawn. So he will just go along to keep the peace. I support him in whatever his body tells him is going to keep him safe. That's what you do. Your body wants to keep you safe. But my daughter, she wouldn't be manipulated. She wouldn't be deceived. She would call him out. She would scream at him, he's a bad man. By the time she was probably 8, I mean, if he even tried to sit next to me, she would begin screaming at the top of her voice. She would get in between us and she would just, Mommy, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep falling for this, Mommy? You know he pretends to be really nice before he gets really mean and hateful, Mommy. Please don't do this again. It was just heartbreaking. It was just, she would sleep outside my bedroom door, afraid that he was going to come in and hurt me in the night.
Was he physical with you?
Not so much. It only escalated to throwing things, throwing the lamps, hitting the wall beside my head, blocking the door, not letting me leave, not letting me come in.
So physical enough to go with all the emotional. Yeah.
Yes. But not, he never punched me. No. Yeah. I've worked with about 200 women now over the last 3 years. And over and over and over, I've heard, it's so astounding that they would much prefer. You agree?
Yes.
They would much prefer the physical abuse than the psychological and the emotional. It is just so crippling in your mind. I call it scrambled eggs. I mean, I just felt like my brain was truly scrambled eggs, just constantly grappling for some kind of stability in the chaos. And he was never satisfied unless it was true chaos in our home at all times. And so he finally, the end, when he left, was almost 3 years ago. We had gone on a family vacation. He had encouraged the children and I to go stay at a place about an hour and a half away. And he had met a woman the year before. We went there every year for his business. And so there was a conference. And so we went and spent a couple days away, the children and I. He was with her in our hotel room for those couple of days. I didn't even figure it out. It was my daughter. I know, 11 years old. But when we came back, he had our bags packed and in the car, all of his bags and everything. And she'd called him by his name since she was 7 years old. And she said, has never packed a bag and loaded the car. Mama, I mean, he's had somebody here. And I mean, that child, over the years, she is remarkable at piecing everything together. Yeah. The family court, of course, used it against me that my child knows. And I'm like, you don't understand. This child is exceptional. But when we got home, I didn't say anything, of course, but I said, I didn't raise my voice. I just said, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to live. I mean, I truly felt like that I was dying. My migraines every day. I was on medication with my doctor, trying to control the migraines. I was asking for back surgery. My lower back I couldn't hardly get dressed in the morning. My hands I would wake up every morning with no feeling. They were completely numb. I didn't even have the strength to pick up a coffee cup. I would have to use my hand under it to bring the coffee cup to my mouth. The heart pain, they had me on medication. Every night it was so bad. I just thought I'd written out my will. I didn't think that it's just, have you ever, The Body Keeps the Score? Mm-hmm. Oh, Shell, I had no idea. All of my hair was falling out. But my body, that's one of the things in my recovery groups now, that it changed everything when I was able to learn that my body was trying to protect me. For sure. Because you just feel like your body is betraying you, and everything in your life is so hard living in abuse, but then your body is falling apart.
And then your mind too. You don't know what to think, what to feel.
The crazy making and the rumination. Oh my goodness. I would spend so many hours a day trying to figure out just the most simple of things, just to say, like, the children have a Christmas program, in a week. Even to discuss something as simple as that. And, if family were coming or if we were going to go out to eat afterwards, just simple conversations, let alone the things you should be able to discuss with a spouse and just living life together. I would spend hours planning what time of day I would address it, what day would be the best. I mean, it couldn't be on a weekend because he'd be furious to have to talk about anything serious on the weekend. But then he didn't want it on a weekday because he'd worked all day and he was tired, and I had to use the right tone. If I had any excitement to my tone, he was furious. And if I had any kind of an authoritative tone, I was trying to make him feel like crap. And the hours and hours, and you don't have any time for like personal growth. I mean, my life was so stagnant. Because every bit of my energy went to trying to navigate, to keep him pacified, to keep him peaceful, and to have the energy to walk outside the door and pretend to be the happy family, to play the role in the community. He's a businessman. We're at church every Sunday. I am sitting in that pew dying. I am in so much agony, but he's tithing every week, and it's just, the exhaustion of just being so destroyed inside, and having to put forth the energy. It would just take days sometimes to recover just from a social event, and just trying to act normal. But if you try to discuss with anyone what you're living in, their eyes glaze over. You can tell they're uncomfortable. I mean, I went to elders in the church. I went to the pastor's wife. I went to family. I went to friends. Trying to explain. But then I didn't have the vocabulary. I didn't know what projection was.
Right.
I just knew that this man thinks the most horrible things about me. He is telling me that I feel this way, that I think this way, that this is my motivation, that this is why I do what I do. And I'm like, have you ever met me? None of that is who I am. None of that. But you could spend hours every day trying to convince him, I would, of who I really was, of who my heart was, of what my intentions were. And he loved seeing me just twist myself into a pretzel, trying to convince him.
Almost like begging him to love you and to see you.
To see me, absolutely.
It's crazy sometimes to think of how calculated they can be.
I had no idea. I didn't know people like that existed.
Right.
I truly did not. That the goal was my pain. And it made sense why he would enjoy it, why he would sit back with satisfaction. My brain literally couldn't process. I just kept trying harder, sacrificing more, loving more, forgiving more. And again, people of faith, you're taught to forgive endlessly. But they don't understand with an abuser. Every time you forgive them, they now know you will tolerate more. They disrespect you. They respect you less every time that you forgive them. And, so all those things that had been ingrained in me, none of it works. None of it is producing healing or peace within the marriage and within the home. So upon him leaving, I knew nothing about covert narcissism when he left. That day when I told him, I am dying, I cannot do this anymore, he left. We had a camper. He went and lived in the camper at a trailer park in our town. And he still, there was even an article in the newspaper written about him while he's living in that camper. Just as successful. No one knows the real story of what's happening.
I'm surprised he left.
Well, if he hadn't had that other supply groomed and ready to step into my position, he would not. But she had been in his life for a couple of years at that point. At that time, I didn't realize that, but it all became clear afterwards. But, a narcissist will never leave a main supply until they have someone else that they have tried, they have traumatized, and they know, oh, wait, she will endure this. She can carry the load of what I'm going to expect from her mentally, emotionally, to be able to drain her and stay. So, and they're still together. She lives in Wisconsin. But yes, so he left and I knew I could not see him because I had been pulled in. The average woman leaves, 7 times, I think is the statistic. 7 times that you escape. I tried to escape more than that and was pulled back in with love and promises.
That's what they do.
And you go to your pastor and they tell you, You are to forgive. You are to submit. They read the verses to you about what a wife is supposed to be. And you don't want to be a contentious wife. And it's better to live on the corner of the roof than with a nagging wife, and but they're not reading the verses, about stay away from wicked people, have nothing to do with them. None of those things are said to women when they're trying to escape, or that, the Lord wants them to have peace. I mean, he came to give us peace, not chaos. And with a narcissist, there is no peace. It's only chaos.
Yes.
So luckily, I had the good sense. I could not see him. He would pick up our children for dinner, and I would go lock myself upstairs in the bathroom. And so I did not see him for months. And during that time, I don't even remember who it was. It might have been Dr. Ramani, but I came across a video. And I mean, my whole life changed. I mean, a video about covert narcissism. And they start explaining, projection and rumination and gaslighting and baiting and all these different things. And it's just like your birthdays, how they always ruin your birthdays, all these different things. And I'm like, there's a word for what I've been living in all these years. Everything I've been trying to explain to people and didn't have the vocabulary for. It's really a real issue.
Yeah, little did you know it's a really big problem out there, right?
A huge, huge problem. Oh my goodness. And it is so strong in the religious communities. The churches are chock full of it. We make perfect victims. We're raised and groomed to be perfect victims for this. And within a few months of him leaving, I had been looking for resources in our community. There was nothing. I couldn't find anyone that really knew about covert narcissism or recovery groups or anything like that. So I decided to start one.
You did?
It was, I still can't believe I even had the strength from from not being able to make a phone call. Barely able to leave my home because of fear and anxiety and just, I was told every day for years that I was effing crazy. Every day for years, to where you just start to believe it. If this person who knows me better than anyone thinks that I am crazy, these other people that might like me or think that it's just because they don't know me. But if they really knew me, they would think that I was crazy too. But it's simply because we're speaking the truth and trying to hold them accountable.
Yes.
But I started my first recovery group. I went on Facebook, and I just thought if there was one or two other people that might be going through this and we could support each other. And then the phone begins to ring and Facebook is lighting up, and precious people, the most beautiful people on the planet, are victims of covert narcissistic abuse. It is truly phenomenal. Just stellar human beings.
Did that give you the feeling like, wow, I'm not alone?
I know. I just couldn't, because it is so isolating when you are in the throes of this abuse and no one understands. You truly feel like there's no one else on the planet that understands you or understands this or would get it. And after you've talked to enough people and they look at you like you're crazy, because when it takes 1,000 times of you making yourself small, slowly beginning to hide your joy, because if they see you're happy, they're going to destroy it, or of changing your tone to accommodate them, or not letting them know you don't like something. Because once they know you dislike it, you're going to experience that as much as they can possibly make you experience it. And so you begin chipping away at your identity, trying to craft yourself into something or someone that will not get abused every hour of the day. And people just don't understand that, because when you break each incident, separate it, sometimes they don't seem that significant. Right. I've heard it described as, death by 1,000, paper cuts. And it truly is. It's just little injuries, but so many of them so continuously.
Isn't it so twisted that there's just so many people out there like this with these behaviors, and they want to make people feel like this?
I know. And
So
I was so full of love. And so many of these, they're the most loving people on the planet that I wanted to just pour. And I did. That was what I couldn't understand, was I just kept pouring Jesus into this man. pouring love into this man. I'm like, at some point, I mean, he's going to hold it. I mean, this is going to be able to accumulate in his spirit,
Right.
in his mind. And it was just like pouring a drink out onto the ground, because nothing could ever fill up that void within them. Only, I mean, our pain and torment is the only thing that satisfies them. And it's very temporary because they want to inflict pain again very quickly in order to and to satisfy their need. It really, it's bone chilling when you really think about it.
It is.
It is. So I started that first recovery group, and oh my
That's
goodness,
awesome.
I picked a book. I went on Amazon and picked a couple of books and prayed about it, and I just kept being led back to this one particular book, and ordered it, and we met at a coffee shop once a week, and we just all started going through it, and it was just sitting around with people that when you share a story, they know exactly what you're talking about. Everybody in the room gets it. And everybody gets to share. And the active listener is such a key part of healing. It is just really remarkable what it does for the soul and the mind. And we just, it was transformational. And
I felt so much lighter, like when you left those.
I just felt like I was walking on air. I mean, and being able to, tread carefully to like share, because all of us that are usually victims of narcissistic abuse, we can self-reflect. We will tell you we have fallen short. I mean, there was times I screamed and cussed like a banshee, and he would say, "Oh, what a godly woman you are. Look at you. If people could see you now and listen to your foul mouth, but they don't show the hours that you experienced. I mean, abuse before that. And finally, out of desperation to defend yourself, you reactive abuse. And it is out of character. But being in that group, sitting with those beautiful people and being able to share, there was times I acted horrible. And then they would share and then we would share. And that guilt and shame just starts to slough off of you. And you realize all that they've tried to convince you that you are, that you deserved to be abused. It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
And they're the only ones that'll ever love you like that and accept everything about you.
Absolutely.
That's what they do.
Absolutely. I told him, I hope so. I hope you're the only one.
Yeah.
Never again. But yes, they do convince you. But then, that group ended and more people started reaching out, and I kept going on Facebook and more people. And so, that was almost 3 years ago, and I've just kept groups going ever since.
So you have like your own little community.
Yes. So I started, it's a nonprofit. Healing is Possible is the name of the ministry, and from covert narcissistic abuse. And there's I have a website. It's almost finished. It's up, but healingispossible.org. And
we can put all that in your description
great.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people can reach out and call. My email's on there. But it's just I have faced a ton of opposition though. The powerful, wealthy men in the community, or religious men.
Yes.
I was so shocked because I started going to churches. Once I realized, oh my goodness, this is such a problem in this area. This is not a one-time group and done. And then therapists in the community started reaching out to me, counselors saying, oh my goodness, we've never had a woman brave enough to do this, because a narcissist, if you expose them, they will want to destroy you
till you're for you.
They are coming from you, and they will align with other narcissistic individuals, and they will all align and come for you. And women are brave enough. We're so exhausted by the time we escape this. They're not willing. And so, I had counselors in the community. I was so honored to start sending their clients to the recovery groups. And, but the churches, that was the most surprising. I did hold recovery groups at a couple different churches. It wasn't a good fit. But I was so shocked that godly Christian men saw this ministry as a threat to marriages. And I was just astounded. I was like, this has nothing to do with godly marriage. This has nothing to do with covenant marriage. What these individuals are living through and subjecting has nothing to do with a healthy, godly marriage. And for men that are operating as a godly man or in a healthy marriage, this has nothing to do with them. And if our pastors and our Christian men don't see the difference between abuse and godly marriages, we have an even bigger problem than what I realized.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they're so afraid of they're going to lose their control.
Absolutely. It was eye-opening. It was truly eye-opening. So, so yes, I, during that time, we went for temporary orders, in family court. I was able to, he did try to re-hoover even a year later. And by that time I was well-versed. I was trained and knew it was coming and, was totally resisted.
Good.
But yes, but so many precious women go back for, and I've learned, women will not leave and stay away until they have tried every single thing under the sun to try to change this man's heart, to try to have a different outcome. And until they have done every single thing, they will always go back. And so I encourage, I've learned to say, have you tried every single thing you can think of? Because if there's something else you think that you can do, go do it. Just go do it. So then you will be free to begin the healing process and escape.
Yeah.
But in temporary orders, the children within months refused to see him. Refused to. They did not want to go. They were scared. I was private fostering a child during the time when he left. He was still living with us, and I just kept praying, Lord, give me the strength to just keep all this together, be able to provide for the foster child and my children. And we really, the court ordered that he was not able to see our children, contact our children, not by text, phone, only through the counselor, until he went through therapy and it was written off that it was safe for him to see the children.
Oh.
And she fired him. The therapist said, nope, he is just wanting to lie and manipulate. He has no desire to get better, and fired him several times. He kept accosting her in the waiting room. And so she had to let him go several times. And
what
so
do you mean you're going to tell me no, lady?
Absolutely. The entitlement. Absolutely. And so we had a year of peace where we just got to heal. Once our central nervous system realized we were safe, we crashed.
I bet.
We slept for months. Months.
Yeah.
We did what we needed to do, what we had to do, and we just came home. We felt so safe within the walls of our, and so, we really had a great time of healing. Still in counseling, the children were in counseling. We're all learning, getting educated. We go back to, and during that time, he never hired another therapist. So he didn't see our children for a year, because once that original one fired him, he was poof, gone. And so we were like, okay, well, we go back to court and the judge hires a reunification therapist.
Those aren't always wonderful.
The reunification therapist, had never heard of. My co-parent had never heard of. But the judge hired a reunification therapist and put her on the case. Her name is Trey Trotter. She's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's an LMFT. A lot of reunification therapists aren't actually licensed. Yeah. They can just be individuals operating out of a motel room. Jeez. And put children there for a week with the alleged abusive parent, and then isolate them for 90 days away from the healthy parent, from the safe parent. And this is how they attack a healthy attachment that the children have with the parent that they have had safety and that has actually been raising them, and try to align them that their needs are only going to get met by the abusive parent. So they can't talk, text, anything with their safe parent.
What?
This is happening everywhere, and it's illegal in the state of Oklahoma. And reunification therapists like Trey Trotter have found a way around that. Yeah, this is one of those things that I really want people to be able to reach out to me if they want to understand this, because they are being assigned with reunification therapy on their case. And the family court is now starting to call it different things, because reunification therapy is getting such a bad name for the predatory practices that are taking place from these court profiteers. And so they're starting to call it, like co-parenting therapy or family, but it's all under the guise. It's all the same thing. But she came on the case, and they began forcing us to travel to Tulsa up to 3 times a week. Tulsa's 2 hours away from our home. So I was, a full-time college student. I had gone through the training for CASA, so I'm an advocate for children in the foster care system. I was mentoring in a mother's ministry within our town. I was private fostering a young man. I'm still serving at our church. I mean, I have all these things because I was starting to heal. I was like, I am capable of so much more than what I have done all these years, just trying to keep my abuser happy. I am capable of so much more. And so I started growing, and it was amazing. It was just amazing.
All that time that you were spending on him,
Yes.
now you can focus on you. Yeah.
Yes. And so, so 2 hours back and forth. I mean, so 4 hours of dry time, an hour to 2 hours with therapy, and with Trey Trotter, and she has a whole team. She hires a team of a child's therapist, a therapist for the mother, a therapist for the abuser or for the father. And I'm aware that sometimes the mothers are the abuser too, but this is my experience. A therapist for the father. And then we're all forced to go into therapy against our will. They are putting mothers in jail all around the country that are trying to protect their children or saying no to practices just like this. All of these court profiteers are charging $250 an hour. Trey Trotter, I believe by the time she was done with this after 5 months, and of course I wasn't given clear records, I think she extorted $181,000 from us. We had to sell property after property to fund this woman. Unbelievable.
What was your ex saying?
There was no communication with him. I mean, I had already gone no contact for a long time. A parenting app was in place, or maybe not even quite yet. Oh no. Anything that you would say to him is then twisted, manipulated, flipped around, and weaponized against you. There's no communicating there. Did
he have to, you both had to pay though, right?
Yes, all of our joint assets. Thank goodness, because that's not always the case with some of these mom. I mean, I had been a stay-at-home mama all these years, other than like 2 years that I worked at our business. And then they're expecting mamas. And so mamas aren't seeing their children for months, even years, because they do not have the finances to pay for what is being court ordered, as the court aligns with the abuser, who is oftentimes has the financial resources, and the mama does not. And the mama is desperately just grappling to try to get access and to protect their children. It's happening everywhere. I don't know. Did you hear about the Julie Valdez case?
No.
I think she was in Wisconsin. I mean, they put her in jail she had actually gone to Canada. Her children had been taken, and one of her teenage boys tried to get to her in Canada, and, terrified, didn't want to be with his abuser. And they threw her in jail, I think for 2 months, with a $500,000 bail on this mama. All she was trying to do is protect and be with her children. And luckily, an anonymous donor put up the money. But this is happening in every state. Cases. Oh, it is growing. It's a true epidemic. And people don't, if you haven't found yourself in the throes of family court, you just have, I had no idea. Yeah. No idea this wickedness was operating all around me. But it is a real issue. I mean, I think what is the family court is like a $66 billion a year industry. And I mean,
wow, I had no idea.
Oh, women have to understand this is a business. This is not about protecting children. This is not about just division of assets. This is literally about extracting as much financial resources from a family as they possibly can. It is a money-making business. And women have to go in with that mindset, because so many of us go in thinking we're going to get a little bit of justice. We're going to go in and speak our truth. They're going to want to protect our children. We're finally going to have some support. And it could not be further from the truth. Further from the truth. And so absolutely slaughtered when they go into family court trying to share their stories.
$181,000.
Just my side, I think. I mean, it was well over, 300,000. Just God. Yes. Unbelievable. I mean, what they do.
That just doesn't even make sense.
And neither does narcissistic abuse. It's like, it's another one of those that's just like, it will never make sense no matter how many different ways we flip it. It's like,
and what did you get out of all that for $300,000? What?
I got 50-50.
Shit.
50-50 custody. Shit. I mean, but that's the whole thing. And what I didn't understand, I do now. I mean, is that the judge wants 50-50. Even if they diagnose someone with a personality disorder, narcissism, psychopathy, antisocial personality disorder, it doesn't matter. The law says they have more rights to their children than children do to escape abuse. They still get 50-50 custody. And so they extract all this money from the mama, guardian ad litems, custody evaluators, therapists. All these different, and all it is money making for the court and the court profiteers. It is not about being there and advocating for the children. And mamas just keep pouring more money thinking this person's going to see.
Yeah.
This person's going to protect my child. No, they're not. They're going to extract $10, $20, $100,000 from you until your assets are drained, and then maybe if you're lucky, you might end up with 50-50 custody of your children. Because most of the time these days when mamas speak about abuse, you lose custody of your children. So, mamas are having to decide. And it doesn't, and please understand, reunification therapy is for children that have been sexually abused by a parent. This is not just, psychological, mental, I've lived it. It is horrific. But it is also for sexual abuse. They then say, the reunification therapist told my daughter, even if your father had sexually abused you, family court says he deserves another chance. You are going to reunification therapy. And they place those children with the, proven SA and 90 days with the abuser. And this is the standard for family court in the United States. It's just astounding. It's like, how can it be?
It's like it's getting worse.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely.
Before they used to just not listen to anybody about anything. And now they're just, man.
Well, and this reunification therapist, she was hired to attack the safe parent. So she's forcing me into therapy. She's forcing me to take the children. My son's crying. He doesn't want to go. He's running out of the building. I'm not allowed to walk my children into therapy. I must stay in my vehicle. She reported my son is not allowed to bring a phone. She wants no recording devices, wanding my children like criminals because of the horrific things that they're doing to mothers and children. They don't want there to be any evidence of what they're doing. They're making sure there's no recording devices. I have my ministry, Healing is Possible ministry, and my phone number on the back of my vehicle. She took pictures and took those to court to show the judge. Oh, she said, I'm taking your children. If you do not shut down your ministry, you are no longer able to have that ministry. You cannot post on Facebook, my freedom of speech. You are no longer able to hold recovery meetings at your home.
Who is she to say this, though? That's what I don't understand.
She's given immunity. The judges give them immunity. And she told me, I have it on recording several times. The judges told me that reunification is going to happen by any means necessary. You will not get rid of me, Moriah. Mm-hmm. And their immunity, they give them immunity, so then you have no recourse. This woman is able to come for you and take your children, accuse you of whatever they want to accuse you from, perjure themselves on the stand, and you have no recourse because they've been given immunity to do so, as long as the end product is 50-50.
Who the hell started this?
Like, what is his name? Oh, it's a gentleman, and it was for sexual. Oh gosh, I want to say Garner, is his last name. Oh, if you look him up, it is unbelievable how this has been twisted. It is literally parental alienation is the term that started it by Garner, I believe. But I mean, it has just been absolutely. It is the go-to card for abusers that when a mother speaks the truth, they claim it's parental alienation, and they're able to just absolutely annihilate her for speaking the truth. And it's not the actions of the abuser that are held to account. It's the mother is the one held to account because she spoke the truth.
Even the fact, though, that she said to your daughter, your young daughter, even if your father would have sexually abused you, like,
Yes.
that's just so inappropriate.
Oh, it's and that was the key thing. My daughter came to me that day and she said, Mama, these people do not care. She's wicked, Mama. And my son had told me she was evil. The very first time he met her, he said, Mama, this woman is evil. And at that time, I was still hoping, I was still naive enough to think maybe there's something good going to come out of this. Maybe their father is going to be held accountable. Maybe he's really going to realize he needs to make some changes. But no.
Just keep still having that hope. Like, maybe he'll see.
Yes.
Maybe he'll accept Jesus. Maybe,
Yes.
it'll happen eventually. I mean,
How you do?
you want to hope for that.
It's like at some point they're going to see
It's
the
not
value of the
happening.
family, value of the
Yeah.
children. No. So my daughter came to me that day after the reunification therapist told her that. And she just said, Mama, we need to just agree to go see. She was like, if we don't, Mama, you're going to lose us entirely. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like, Mom, I think we just need to give it a chance because this is getting worse all the time. And I said, go get your brother, let's have a family meeting. Let's talk about it. So Bub, my son, comes in and we sit, and I was like, do you feel like you can try it? He goes, Mom, this is bad. And he's like, I'm exhausted. I mean, my kids are having panic attacks, sweats, nightmares. I mean, throughout the night, they're too scared to go to school. I can't get, they are absolutely in full-blown trauma.
Yeah.
Regina Underwood was their court-appointed counselor she works with Trey. It's all, they all work together to support each other for this whole racket. And I'm contacting her. Oh, that's normal. Oh, it's fine. This is the way this, no compassion. I'm like, oh my goodness. She's absolutely, at that moment, I knew she is totally a part of this. So I messaged their father. My daughter messaged her father and I messaged him. And I said, the children I've been talking, the children want to come and see if maybe things can be different, if some changes have been made and maybe some relationships could be restored. They'd like to come for visitation. And he messages me back and says, oh, that sounds great. That sounds good. And I said, take your time, talk with Trey Trotter, and she's a woman. Her name is Trey, but talk with her, talk with your therapist. I want to make sure we go about this the right way, but let's do visitation. What was it? 5:30 the next day, the sheriffs are at my door taking custody of my children by emergency order. Because Trey Trotter was going to lose her grasp and I was her gravy train. She was extorting so much money from us and that I was going to do what the court wanted, that my children were going to go for visitation with their father. Oh, she wasn't having that. She called the judge. It's even on, I have the transcript. The judge is like, this is very unorthodox. I've never experienced anything like this, with a therapist calling and saying, oh, she's suicidal. She's homicidal. You need to come and get these children. All because I did what the court wanted and offered visitation. My children were ripped from my home. I recorded, luckily,
oh my God,
the whole sheriff's, while she is saying all these, I was awarded half of the guns in the temporary order, as was Chad. He got his half. But, she has weapons in the house. I know, no mention that but this is all part of the game. And so I recorded the whole thing. I couldn't have been more calm, more in control. Just of myself.
your poor kids, they're probably hysterical.
Oh, we held hands. We prayed. My kids were amazing. They were stressed. Yes, they were strained. But
to send the police to come get them.
Yes, because I was doing what the court wanted me to do. And so the children were pulled. All these claims, about me. Luckily, I had been recording I couldn't have been more calm, more compliant, doing everything that was asked of me and then some, to the point of exhaustion. These people are running me. Doing everything that they're asking. That wasn't the point. And so I'm not allowed to text my children. They take their phones. They tell them, if you reach out to your mother, she will be put in jail. You will be put into a mental facility. We will put you in juvenile hall. Terrify my children. They have them over.
Where'd they take them?
To their fathers for 90 days. But it's how, and this is what Trey Trotter has come up with. She worked in the Tulsa County Courthouse for 8 years, and she told me, have it on recording, I learned what judges want. I have figured out a way to go around the law, that reunification camps are not legal in Oklahoma. And some of them, they're trafficking the kids across state lines, taking them to Texas where it is legal. I think Texas might be outlawing it. But other states where it is, they're taking kids to other states to put them in hotel rooms for a week and then in these reunification camps.
How is any of this good for
I
kids?
know. It isn't. It has nothing to do with that. Wow. It's all about the money. So,
wow.
But then she said, you will not, if you don't get that, because I have a sign in my front yard for my ministry, you get that sign out of your front yard, you get that decal off of your car, you stop posting to Facebook, you shut down your ministry. Or you're not getting your children back. All of my civil rights being stripped.
And the judge knows that this is going on?
I can't say. He knows enough. She told me over and over, the judge has said, this is going to happen by any means necessary. So 90 days, at 60 days, I'm not kidding you. If I did not have a beautiful best friend, he has taken such good care of me, my kid, I wouldn't have survived this. The trauma.
So you're no contact
with my children. For a number of weeks. Then I'm allowed to go to my daughter's 8th grade graduation. Then I'm allowed, and this woman is constantly creating trauma during this time. The court says that I get visitation. Well, then she pulls it. Who is she?
That's what I'm saying.
So she's hired to do this. She's hired. This is her job. Her job is to traumatize the safe, healthy parent until you are happy, if you even get 50-50. Because she is lying on, she is deceiving and manipulating so much. The safe parent becomes absolutely terrified, and you stop fighting to protect your child from the abusive parent, because you're going to lose your child.
Right. You just want your kids.
Yep. If you don't stop speaking the truth, you will lose your children entirely. This is happening all over the nation. It's
people need to step in for this.
I know. And that's what I'm doing today. I just want to bring attention to what is happening. And I want women to be able to be educated that if they get a reunification therapist, what that means, and not to be caught off guard like I was, not understanding what I was stepping into. So it was my son's 13th birthday. Didn't get to see him for his birthday, while they're telling him, if your mom had just done what she was supposed to, once your mom gets mentally stable.
So they're brainwashing, and you have no contact to even let them know, like, listen, it'll be okay, or this is not what's happening.
And when you get to see your children for a supervised visit, you should see the list. I've got
anything.
You can't say anything. You have so many rules. You have to be like a robot, or they'll pull your children. So your children can't be authentic with you. And there was a couple times the kids were able to whisper things, to me. And we found,
oh God, you had to be dying inside.
Oh my goodness. I just can't even put it into words. The devastation. It was some days all I could do. Just to get up and make a sandwich. Because the agony, the fear of what is happening to my children. How are they emotionally?
Yes.
My daughter runs away. During this time, she is going to neighbors' homes in his community, banging on their doors, asking for help, asking them to call the police, somebody to help her. She's pleading with them. I'll go to a mental facility. Just please don't make me stay with him. She runs away, calls the police. The police come, they handcuff my daughter, take her for a psych evaluation at the hospital. She is self-harming. All of this is hidden by Trey Trotter to the judge. And she proceeds to
She
contact.
put her there.
She did it, absolutely, and was paid well to do it. And contacts the custody evaluator, who's a separate gentleman, Dr. Danaher in Edmond, and tells him, it's in the report right here, the children are doing so much better in their father's care. Since they're no longer in their mother's care, they have improved. My daughter has been running away, self-harming, calling 988 every night, going to neighbor. It's just unbelievable. But again, she's given immunity, so you have no recourse. And she's saying all of this on the stand, lying. It's just, it takes your breath away. It takes your breath away.
Was your videos and things that you would do, was it admissible? So the judge could see it?
Oh, no. Oh, and that reminds me, at Regina Underwood, the children's therapist, court-ordered therapist, I took the children, for their therapy. And one time there was a scream. And so I was sitting probably here, and the door was right where that door is. And he's back in session with Regina. And there is this scream. And I'm like, oh my gosh, was that my kid? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, it could have been from the hallway. But so I go to the door. And I was like, is my son okay? I was like, I heard a scream. I just want to make sure he's all right. And they're like, oh no, it wasn't him. They're laughing. It was not laughing, but I'm like, okay. And you see, they have it all recorded. And you see my hands go like this as I back up. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. And I sit down. They used that against me in court, that I was a danger, that I was interrupting court-ordered therapy because I asked if my child was okay and sat my bottom back down in the chair. Literally brought in and used against me. But it is designed for no matter what the mama does, it is wrong. They will twist it, manipulate it, no matter what you do.
I'm so glad you have that calm demeanor. Me, I would be a nutcase.
Oh, you feel
like you would lose it.
I mean, you do. You just want to scream. I mean, because you just can't. I mean, and it's like a web. I mean, they design it for that, just like a web, that no matter how you move, no matter how your children move. And they kept saying, my kids kept saying, Mama, we should be getting paid $250. They didn't know that. Like, we should be getting paid. We're having to go in there in therapy. These therapists aren't talking to them about anything real. They're like, we're having to go in and listen to her talk about her dog, talk about the remodel on her house, talking about her vacations. Mama, there's nothing real. We're not getting to talk about anything. I mean, nothing. It's all a joke where they're getting to bill and bill and bill and then ultimately withhold the children from the safe parent. And again, when you're dealing with an abuser who wants you to escape.
This just is so, I did forensic psych and addiction for 20 years before I got into aesthetics and stuff.
Yes.
So I saw and I was in foster care, like all that stuff.
Yes.
So I've seen it all kind of, but just to hear this now, that this is happening, we went backwards.
I know. I agree. I most definitely agree.
And it used to be even like abusive parents or whoever it was, even like using drugs, or if someone was a prostitute, whatever it might be.
Yes.
If they didn't have a needle in their arm in front of the kids, then it just is what it is. And they're back in the home.
Yes.
But they're taking them from the safe parent. That just,
Absolutely.
How do you even wrap your head around that?
I know. It will never make sense. And it's such an extension of the abuse. I mean, women are having to battle so hard to escape the abuser. And then you are in this complex of abusers coming for you on every side while you're still grappling, just trying to help your children heal, to try to help yourself heal, and to try to deal with the onslaught.
Unless they're there to monitor and they have someone sitting in that home back with the abuser, they should not be doing that.
I know. I totally 100% agree.
You're like, girl, that's what I'm here to preach.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and during this
So
time, during this time, there is a retired pastor in our community. His ministry is directly across the street from my home, directly across the street. And he has cameras, and he was watching me, who was coming to my home, who was leaving my home, how long they were there, and relaying all of this to my abuser. And the therapist that was working with us all at the time is the one who brought it to my attention a bit. You need to be careful. This is being relayed. One night, it's about 10:30 at night, and the doorbell rings. startles me. People don't come to my house at 10:30 at night. The kids are upset. What's going on, Mom? I go to the door. It's a police officer. And he says, you need to move that car across the street in that parking lot. And I was like, that's not my car. I have no idea whose car that is. And he was like, well, the owner called us and said that he saw a man come to your back door. And that man inside your house needs to go move that car.
What?
And I was like, I am telling you, there is no man, inside my home. I have no idea what you're talking about. And he was like, well, that owner saw it on his cameras. And I'm like, it was confirmation, absolute confirmation. And I step out on the porch, and about that time, my tenant who rents my apartment in the back of my home and her boyfriend come walking around the side of the house. And they're like, hey, Moriah, what's going on? And I said, this police officer says this is my vehicle and the owner's watching me on his cameras and upset. And her boyfriend says, oh my gosh, I just didn't want to junk up your driveway with my vehicle. And I was here visiting and I just parked over there in the empty parking lot. And I'm like, okay. But this gentleman knows, this retired pastor knows about my ministry. He has been opposing me greatly in the community. Again, telling the story that I'm crazy, that I'm a danger, all of these things, as they often do, to discredit, anyone who is the truth speaker and telling the truth. And so I knew at that moment he was trying to attack my character and accuse me of things and wrap me up in this false story. And anyway, so her boyfriend went and moved his vehicle and I messaged the retired pastor. He also lives 4 doors down from me. I'm surrounded by him, 4 doors down. And this pastor was also my parents' pastor when I was a teenager. So there is history here.
Yeah.
History. He was never my personal pastor when it was up to me. But he's my abuser is on his board of his ministry. I refused to be on the board, which also made him extremely angry. I think that's where it kind of started, his resentment towards me, because I didn't know what I was dealing with, but I knew that I didn't like how I felt internally and I didn't want to be a part of it. And so I wasn't a part of the board. So a few weeks later, he sends me a friend of mine and myself an email with this huge story, breaking and entering at his ministry. Shaking the hands of a burglar, this huge, you can't even imagine. Bright red letters. A picture of the man that he's accusing and the gentleman that works in my ministry, Steve Williams is his name. He was a pastor in our town for 30 years. And I wasn't expecting men to start reaching out to my ministry about covert narcissistic abuse. And all of a sudden, men are calling and they have wives that are abusive. And of course, I wanted to have healthy boundaries. And so this gentleman had experienced abuse and Steve, and he was willing to start working with the men so that I could just work with the women. And he had shaken this man's hand. And so there's a picture of Steve from my ministry shaking this man's hand. And he's accusing him of this being the man that broke into to his ministry. Steve shakes hand of, one of the ladies in my past groups. I post this email to Facebook. I go public with it. I'm like, there's no way he is going to wrap me in this chaos and this fictitious story. Again, he's coming for me. And people in the community, my phone starts ringing, women, children that are grown now, with stories of this retired pastor having done this for decades. He has been doing this for decades, aligning against abused women and their children and supporting the abuser. And the heartbreaking stories. It's just, he's been and he uses his title, to be able to have credibility and to attack women and children. But thankfully it was so amazing because one of the ladies that had been in my past group, he televises his Bible studies, this retired pastor, in his ministry weekly. And the gentleman that he accused of the breaking and entering is wearing the exact same shirt and sitting in front of him closer than you and I are that very morning. The gentleman that he accused of breaking into his ministry, it was the video of him was him coming to his ministry for a Bible study. And I actually was able to find this gentleman. He's legally blind. He and his wife had practiced this walk to this ministry for weeks so that he could go and attend this Bible study. So the picture he has of him that he sent me of him breaking and entering is him feeling the doorway. He's not trying to break in. I'm not kidding. But people, it's hard for people to actually sit and take in like these kind of details of the wickedness that people will orchestrate. It's just truly remarkable. And so anyway, this gentleman followed me to the police station, this retired pastor. And it got so bad that I had to go for a restraining order. And I went for the restraining. I went without. I've gone with so many women to the police station and to get restraining orders. And I told them when I went to the police station, I told them what was happening, and they said, "You need to go right now to the courthouse. We're going to take you out the back door." Because like I said, he followed me. So, I mean, he's parked right beside my car. As I go in, I'm like, I need help, you know. Oh, God. And they take me to the back. I tell him my story. I said, "When you find out who this man is, you're not going to believe me." And they're like, "No, ma'am, you've shown us picture. We understand." And they're like, "We'll believe you." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, this man's a master manipulator. When you find out, you're not going to believe me." They took me out the back. I go to the courthouse. 10 minutes later, my phone rings. "Oh, ma'am, you need to cancel this. You don't have," because of who he is, because of his name, because of his reputation. And this is how he's been able to do this for decades in our community. And most women just leave. I mean, they just take their kids and they move, right? Because you're blacklisted. And I mean, people are going to believe the pastor. So anyway, do you mind if I read this?
No, go ahead.
This is the custody evaluation. The custody evaluator in family court gets to decide, based on visiting with you, visiting with the abuser, visiting with your children, how much custody you should have of your children.
So the judge isn't deciding. This is
supposedly not. I mean, or the judge takes these findings and decides. Okay, but yes. Okay. And this is again ordered by the court, picked by the court, and this is the one who gets to decide. And so anybody can contact this custody evaluator and tell them whatever they want to tell them about who you are, your character, and and then they get to decide and apply this to whether you get the privilege of raising your own children or not. This retired pastor that has done this and more to me, he'd accused me of suing. He was threatening to sue me. I took all that to the police station, but he reached out to the custody evaluator per, of course, my abuser's recommendation.
Sure.
And this is what he wrote. Well, it says, "I conducted a collateral contact interview with the retired pastor, and he indicated that he has known both parents. He testified as a character witness on behalf of Mr. Forbeck, and he indicated that Ms. Forbeck retaliated strongly. She attempted to get a victim's protective order against him on 2 or 3 occasions, though these were not granted." First of all, you can go to OSCN, you can go to transcripts. This man never testified against me, not one single time. Bald-faced lie. I didn't retaliate. I mean, I stood up for myself as he's coming for me. Yeah. I didn't try to get 2 or 3 protective orders. Again, you can go to court records. It was one time. I mean, just the blatant lies. It's just astounding to me that they're that brazen.
They've been getting away with it.
I know, for decades. He stated that he's known Moriah Forbeck since she was a baby, and her parents were members of his parish. He met about 6 or 7 years ago when they were married. Chad helped with the Marshallese population in the community, and the pastor has formed a relationship with both parties. He's previously been close to both of them. I've never had a cup of coffee with this man. I had never had a conversation with the man in 30-some years until he pulled in my driveway to accost me that day, which is why I finally went to the police station. Because he follows me into my driveway. Yeah. And I'm telling him to get off my property. I've got it all on video, posted that to Facebook as well. So, but again, he didn't even move into the state that I live in until I was 15 years old. But he states here he's known me since I was a baby. He had previously been close to both of them, and at one time he formed a nonprofit educational program, and he asked both parties to be on his board of directors, though Moriah declined, indicating she was too busy with her children. Heaven forbid. But doesn't that show you how he was it burned him that I wouldn't be a part of his ministry across the street and wouldn't be a part of the board. After testifying as a character witness for blatant lie, Pastor became subjected to attacks directed towards him by Moriah. He described an incident where he was at the police department on an unrelated matter, and Moriah was present by coincidence. And she started screaming, "There's my stalker." After their encounter at the police station, she did get a protective order granted. Pastor Burleson went on to describe specific incidents where he was being maligned on the internet, and the series of events included an apparent friend of Moriah frequently walking around his property at his business without any reason. In all my years of ministry, I have never seen someone so unbalanced and histrionic. If she will do this to me because I'm a character witness for Chad, I believe she is a narcissist. And I love Moriah.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. Like,
I mean,
about
I know.
it. This is just ridiculous.
It is unbelievable. And did you see the next line? And I love Moriah. And I would do anything to help. And I think she needs help. And her children are at risk at her home. She sees everyone else as the enemy and has no awareness of how she is affecting people. It's heartbreaking. I mean, and some women aren't as strong as me to have a person of power. And he's done this to women that he was their pastor. Oh. He was their pastor. I mean, thank goodness this man just lied about being my pastor.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that. But it's like, can you imagine if you had gone to him for counseling and then he spews these lies to protect?
Yeah.
You know, it's just this good old boy misogynist club. And it's just...
And I used to live there now.
Oh, yes, he's right across from me. Right across from me. Yep. But, I mean, the people like that, I mean, that I've had to try to get a protective order are allowed to contact the custody evaluator and try to have a hand in me losing my children.
Right.
And say whatever he wants about me. And in the next breath, I love her. Love her. Wow.
Like, you don't even know me.
You don't.
Yeah.
He absolutely doesn't. And it wouldn't matter if it was me or 50 other women.
Right.
I mean, it's irrelevant. It's that he likes to align with people in positions, business owners, people that he thinks can benefit him when he runs for something else.
Mm-hmm. Again, they're very calculated. They know what to do.
They absolutely do. The planning that goes into orchestrating some of these things is just truly, truly astounding. So, but the flying monkeys is the term in the, in the narc world, but it's another thing that women have to deal with. You're not just coming up against your abuser. You're coming up against their family, which are oftentimes the ones that created them. Sure. They are like them, and then all the other, men and flying monkeys that will align and give the abuser strength and credibility. Yeah. And then you have a woman that has been isolated from friends, from family. Right. You've been so, I think I went out to dinner maybe twice a year with a friend in the years that I was still in abuse. And I was never told, you're not allowed to go to dinner. You can't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But I would go out to dinner. While I'm gone, he will terrify my children. He would tell them, your mommy doesn't love you. She doesn't want you. She is never coming back. She has abandoned you. And then he would take them out to like a grocery store and he'd say, go find her. Go see if you can find her. He would drive her by my grandma's house and family's house and say, see, is your mommy there? No, she's not there because she's left and she's never coming back for you. Wow. Now, when I come home from dinner to hysterical children crying and sobbing, do you think I want to go out to dinner again soon? No, I don't. But this is how they work. This is how they operate, and it was constantly that. If I left, he would pretend there was a tornado. He would make them get on their bike helmets and go down in the basement and terrify them that they're going to get blown away and killed. Do I want to, and that was if I went to get my hair done or just take care of myself in any way, and that's how they groom you. And your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But he didn't want any relationship with me. I was to be ignored, abused, rejected on every level, but just to control me and keep me within the confines of that house. But while he's the most charming person in the community, on boards, committees, tithing every Sunday, and you're labeled crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's happening everywhere. Yeah, it is. So I just... So how is it with him now that you guys have 50-50?
Like, how are the kids doing when they go there? And
Yes, they are doing what they, what they need to do. I mean, they're doing their time. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like they're doing a time. He said in open court, I don't want my daughter. She's a lost cause. And just like her mother, she needs to stay with her mother. They don't care.
he said that?
It's on the transcript. He said it at least 3 times. Oh, it's always been a strained relationship with my daughter. Oh, it's always been strained. We've never had a very good relationship. He said it himself on the stand.
And she still has to go.
That still has to go. Because abusive parents have more rights to their children than children do to safety. And she was so articulate, in describing her relationship with him, and that she did, how she did not feel safe and how it had been all these years. They don't care. Even from his own mouth, he didn't want her, and they don't care. So, but yeah, they are, it was very much used against me because I've educated my kids quite a bit to understand and to be able to stay as healthy, as
how
they
dare
can.
you?
Yeah. Oh, the courts do not want children to understand one single thing about psychological abuse, emotional abuse. They want children ignorant. And it's astounding to me. If you get on TikTok, you get on any of these social platforms, the plethora of information that there is on all of these topics. And my daughter wrote a 4-page letter to the judge. She went on to.
She's a little forced.
Oh, I can only dream of being as intelligent as my girl. She's amazing. She went our Enid News and Eagle. She went to our local paper. She went to LinkedIn. She went to our business website. This girl annihilated him. Spoke the truth on every platform. I was like, I would never have been so brave as to do all of that. But of course, the courts say that's all the mother. The letter was written by the mother. Everything is the children have no voice, and people are under the misguided information that at 12 years old or at a certain age, state by state, that a child has a voice.
Yeah.
Oh no, ma'am. Oh, that is a complete fallacy.
I have heard that. After everybody say, oh, when they're like 13, they can decide, and
Absolutely not. Nope. My children were and my son, it's so hard. He's so precious. He was just like, Mama, I thought I was protecting you. They convinced me you would go to jail. That, once they were allowed to have phones back. And he was like, I was so scared. I thought I was doing my job. I was going to keep you safe by,
Well, that's what all abusers do. They threaten. Even in sexual situations, they threaten that they're going to harm the parent or the family. And oh my God.
But these people that they are hired by our court system.
It's disgusting.
It is. To do this, to traumatize kids that are just trying to find safety and peace. It's astounding.
And sadly, yours isn't the first story.
Oh, no.
That I've heard, wow.
It is becoming more and more common. So, but at least in my community, it's a small start, in having recovery groups and being able to educate women.
Yeah.
So at least they don't go into these situations blind.
Yes.
And most of these abusers, they don't want those children. They were never a part of raising those children in the home when they were residing in the home.
Yeah.
But once the victim breaks free, you finally see your worth. You finally realize that things are never going to change. And they want to punish you that you dared to think you deserved anything better than their abuse.
Yeah.
And so how do they get to a mama's heart? Your children.
Yeah.
It's the children. And so they go for those children because it's their one way they can still control you and torment you. Luckily all our communication is only through the parenting app.
Yeah.
So,
it's like a family wizard thing. Or
our
something.
family wizard is what we use. So, but
good.
Yes, most definitely.
And the kids are how old now?
15 and 14.
15. Oh, a few more years.
I know. But these precious people that, have 2 and 3 year olds and they've got to go through this.
Oh, God.
And people just don't understand that there's post-separation abuse. The abuse does not end because you get away from this abuser. It just changes. It absolutely changes. The financial abuse, it is just, it's relentless.
They probably see it with his new woman,
They're
right?
Well, my daughter's not allowed around her a lot because she'll speak the truth. He's not taking any chances with that because, oh no.
Wow.
So my son is safe to take around her, but not my
People
daughter.
who speak the truth are usually the problem,
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
And
So,
you know, from when you were little, like that's just,
yep. And I mean, I've been no contact with my parents for 2 years.
okay.
And now all of my siblings, I mean, they have to decide, not that I said you have to decide. It's just
Yeah.
in a family system, you're going to align with the family or with the black sheep that's speaking the truth. And it's so hard to align with it's just
And they're still so
easier.
brainwashed, you know,
Yes.
they haven't seen different. And if they were raised like that, you know, you
Absolutely.
just happen to be a little stronger, you know, and you were able to see and move on.
Absolutely.
Thankfully.
And another key part of this is just that, sometimes people don't understand that, a narcissist is usually created by another narcissist. And, one of the parent is a narcissist. They then marry a people pleaser, a codependent.
Yeah.
And then the story goes. I mean, they have children and the narcissist grooms one of the children to be narcissistic and the other child becomes a codependent, empathic people pleaser.
Yeah.
And it just, and the generation just goes and goes and goes. Right. And that is one of the things I am the most proud of is, and even my children's therapists, they're like, these are the most normal children that I've ever seen that have been raised full time with a covert narcissist, and I give the Lord all the praise for that that I was able to just keep pouring love and health, into them and that neither one of them are narcissistic. Praise God. Because that is not the story for so many beautiful people.
Right.
And once you escape the abuser, you're then dealing with a narcissistic child. Mm-hmm. And it's something as a mama, it's like you can't ever escape that. And it's just
because they usually get brainwashed so much when they have that time with that parent.
Absolutely. It's the goal of the toxic parent to groom at least one. And then they can align again together, against the healthy parents. So it's just the wickedness of it all. So to be able to get mamas educated, to be able to stop some of that cycle as soon as possible.
Right.
And I truly do believe, even though we do face some opposition in family court, it is crucial for mamas to be educating their children on emotional and psychological abuse and giving them the tools and to not be brainwashed to think that this is normal. Mm-hmm. This might be what you're having to live in for a time, but this is not normal and it shouldn't be this way. Right. And teach them to actions and words have to match.
Yes.
If the words and the actions do not match, it is not safe. And if someone shows you that they can be cruel, believe them that they are cruel and don't make them have to convince you of that 50 times before you leave. Leave the first time.
Yeah.
Leave the first time.
No, that's amazing advice. And wow, it's an eye opener.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
Great.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, for anybody that's listening, we're
going to put all your information in the description too, so they can reach out to you, get information, whatever they need.
Awesome. That reunification stuff, that is wicked. I do have in a formal, I think it's 62 pages and documents and recordings and transcripts on Trey Trotter to try to, because if there's a board that is managing, a licensed marriage and family therapist, there is standards of do no harm. Right. And so if they're operating under
just
a
under
license,
her license, that license alone,
Yes, ma'am. And it has moved to the second stage. So they have, it has been assessed and they said, we think this is a valid case.
Good.
And so it is moving on for further investigation because these people should be stopped from doing what they're doing.
Absolutely. And more people need to know because this isn't known out in the public that much unless they went through it. You don't hear about that this much.
And there's so much shame for a mama. And in this culture, I feel like, for you to lose custody of your children, for a mama to lose custody of your children. And these women feel so much shame. And it takes another woman that's been in the trauma of family court to understand this is happening to some of the best mamas on the planet. Yeah. This is not because you were neglectful or abusive. It's because you spoke the truth. Right. And yeah, so, but yeah, when you can come along with others that understand the atrocities of family court,
Yes.
it does remove some of that shame, and for women to speak up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me so
Yes.
much.
It's awesome.
Thank you.